Hi everyone, it's me. All right, let's get a little comfortable because we are going to be talking about the books that are going to be released in 2024 that I am the most excited about and have potential to be 5-star books this year. In 2023, I read 91 books in total. My goal for 2024 is 100, so we're gonna have a great reading year. I have 13 or 14 books I'm going to be talking about in today's video, so let's just get straight into it. Okay, so the first book I'm so excited about comes out so soon, and you guys definitely already know what it is. It is House of Flame and Shadow by Sarah J. Maas. Does this book need an introduction? I feel like I've talked about this book so much on this channel already, but if you don't know what House of Flame and Shadow is, this is the third book in the Crescent City series. This is the third series that Sarah J. Maas has written. It's an adult urban fantasy romance series, very interconnected with her entire universe. So if you haven't picked up any Sarah J. Maas book, this series is not the first one for you to pick up, okay? If you have House of Earth and Blood ready on your shelf to be read, but you haven't read any other Sarah J. Maas book yet, hold it off. Don't do it yet. Trust me on this one. If you want to get into this world, read ACOTAR or Throne of Glass first, whichever one. ACOTAR is a lot more romance heavy. Throne of Glass is a lot more like epic fantasy heavy. ACOTAR has smut. Throne of Glass does not have smut. So just whatever you feel like floats your boat, suits you the best, start with that one first, but read those two first. And then read Crescent City, okay? Just trust me. But anyways, yeah, Crescent City just has that addictive feeling that Sarah J. Maas books seem to all have. Her worlds are so immersive. Crescent City specifically has like every single type of fantasy creature imaginable in it. We have fae, we have vampires, we have wolves, angels, mermaids, witches. We have everything. And the previous book in the series, House of Sky and Breath, just left us on the most gigantic cliffhanger that I think everyone who is in this universe has just been holding their breath until the day that House of Flame and Shadow releases. This book comes out January 30th. We're all just anticipating. I have this book pre-ordered. I took a couple days off work to read this book, and yeah, it's probably my most highly anticipated book of the entire dang year, so we're off to a great start already. Okay, we're going in chronological order here. So on February 6th, Hazelwood is releasing a new book called Bride. And so I'm gonna be completely honest with this one. I am one of those people that did not love The Love Hypothesis. I thought it was a decently average, okay rom-com. I enjoyed reading it, but I just thought it was nothing special. Like, it was just a palate cleanser for me. It was like an average 3-star read, and I haven't read any other Hazelwood book. Because I've just heard that a lot of her other books are kind of like clones of The Love Hypothesis in a way. They're all in this genre of STEM romance, and I didn't feel the need to read any of her other books. So why am I excited about this one? Bride, to me, looks like so much fun because it's actually like a paranormal kind of fantasy romance, which is definitely branching out for Hazelwood. And I feel like whenever I see a popular author branching out of the normal genre, I immediately get interested because it could either be amazing, unreal, or it could be a complete disaster, and I am here to see where it goes. So in Bride, we have a dangerous alliance between a vampire and a werewolf. Yes, we are going back to vampires and werewolves. We apparently have a marriage of convenience trope here, which is not a trait that I usually love, but I do feel like it works better in fantasy, and that's basically all I know about this book. Does the concept sound completely unique, like with the whole vampire werewolf thing? No. But Hazelwood does seem to be branching out of her little STEM romance niche, and I'm all here for it. I'm so excited, and I'm ready to give her another chance with this book. And then on March 5th, we have the release of The Prisoner's Throne by Holly Black. This is the second book of the Stolen Heir duology. It's a YA fantasy, and I must admit, I have not read Stolen Heir yet. So why the heck am I excited about the sequel to a book I have never read? This Stolen Heir duology is actually set in the same world as the Cruel Prince trilogy. And this series, I believe, follows Oak's story, which is the brother of the main character in the Cruel Prince trilogy. As of right now, on the day I'm filming this video, I still have yet to finish the Cruel Prince trilogy. I've read 2 out of 3, and I am planning to finish the 3rd book this week. And then I do have Stolen Heir on my physical TBR, so it's ready for me to grab and read whenever. And so yeah, I am planning on reading Stolen Heir so I can be on time for the release of The Prisoner's throne. I do really love Holly Black's writing. I feel like her writing is almost the perfect balance between that really high stakes fantasy fae genre combined with the more like whimsical folklore fae genre. So I really love the way she's kind of combined those two aspects of fae and put them together in her world of Elfhame. And so yeah, I'm just really excited to dive back into Elfhame, into this world, and see Oak's story and how it unfolds. Okay, we've had a release for January, we've had one for February, we've had one for March, and then in April, we've got a few, okay? First one I'm excited for is Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. This is the author that wrote Part of Your World and Yours Truly, a rom-com contemporary romance author. I have really enjoyed both of those books written by Abby Jimenez, and I particularly loved Yours Truly because her main male character in that book was just so unique compared to male main characters in a lot of other rom-coms. She wrote him as this introverted, awkward, antisocial guy with social anxiety that I could just relate to so much, and I loved that we finally had this male main character that wasn't this really outgoing, charming giant of a man, you know, like the very typical type of guy we see in a romance. We got the opposite in Yours Truly, and I really enjoyed that. And so yeah, I really like the way that Abby Jimenez develops her characters in her romance stories. And so Just for the Summer is about a guy named Justin who has a curse. Every single woman that he dates seems to find her soulmate right after she breaks up with him. He posts it on Reddit, or maybe someone else posts it on Reddit, and his story blows up, okay? It gains so much internet interest. It just keeps reaching more and more people online until a girl named Emma sees his story. And she reaches out to him. She's like, hey Justin, I read about your story, sounds unique, but you know what? I have the same curse. And so they connect and they come together with this scheme to try dating each other because maybe their curses will cancel each other's out. And so that's the premise of the story. And does it sound very predictable? Do we already know what is going to happen in the story and where it's going to end up? Yes, absolutely. But that's kind of like the point of rom-coms. Looking forward to this one. It sounds like it's gonna be a great like comfort summer read. So just for the summer. Also on April 2nd, this is gonna be a very busy day. We get the release of the reappearance of Rachel Price. This is a new standalone novel, I believe, by Holly Jackson, who wrote the Good Girls Guide to Murder series. I'm gonna have another moment of honesty with you guys. I did not complete the Good Girls Guide to Murder series. I read the first book. I thought it was really fun. I thought it was engaging. I was kind of hooked the entire way through. But what turned me off was how the book ended. I'm obviously not gonna say what happened because, you know, I don't like to spoil things in case you guys have not read that trilogy yet. But I just feel like the ending was so over the top ridiculous, and when that happened I feel like I just got pulled out of the story. Like I was so in it, I was so believing it, and then I just, at the ending, I was like, huh? The twist was just a little bit too outrageous for me, so I didn't feel motivated to continue that trilogy. But that being said, I did really enjoy Holly Jackson's writing style. As I said, I was immersed throughout the entire book. Very fast-paced, easy to read writing, and so because of that, I am excited to read something else from her, maybe outside of the Good Girls Guide to Murder world. This book seems like it is going to be a standalone. It is a YA true crime thriller about an 18-year-old named Belle. Belle has lived her entire life in the shadow of her mom's disappearance, which happened 16 years ago. So it's been a long time that she's been living in the shadow. So she's grown up in a place where she is constantly just wishing that the people around her would just give up, just forget about the story about her mom's disappearance, would just let it go. You know, the past is the past. Let's move on with our lives. Of course, this case is suddenly dragged back up to the forefront of everyone's mind, including Belle's, when she agrees to take part in a true crime documentary. And very unexpectedly, while filming this documentary, her mother shows up after 16 years. Her mother's suddenly here, and you know, all these things from the past come up. We're trying to figure out what really happened. And so yeah, this just sounds like a very exciting and fun story. I always love when like real life things are referenced in books, like true crime documentaries. For example, None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell. I really enjoyed like the vibe, the atmosphere of that book, because it really was like true crime Netflix documentary and podcast. And so yeah, I really like this genre. I do like Holly Jackson's writing, and I am excited. Okay, we have another April release. April's gonna be a busy month. But on April 9th, we have the release of The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo. This is an upcoming historical adult fantasy. I believe this is also a standalone, which is very fun. And I did fall in love with Leigh Bardugo's writing while reading the Six of Crows duology, so I'm excited to read more from her. So this one is set during the Spanish Golden Age in Madrid. So we kind of have like real world here, which is fun. Our main character is named Luzia, who is a scullion, which is like a maid or a servant. And she actually secretly has a little bit of magic ability. And so she is using little bits of magic throughout the day to help make her job easier. One day, however, her scheming, evil mistress discovers that Luzia has magic and that she's been using magic. And so she comes up with this plot, this scheme, and tells Luzia that she needs to use her magic to help better their family's like social status. And so from there, we uncover this whole magic system, this whole magical world that's been kind of hidden, I guess. And I'm sure we uncover lots of dangerous political warfare scenarios. So yeah, the story sounds really fun, really interesting. As I said, I do love Leigh Bardugo's writing. I'm excited to read more from her. So that is The Familiar. We are still in April. So cancel all of my April plans, okay? Because on April 23rd, we are going to be reading Funny Story by Emily Henry. Emily Henry is one of my favorite romance authors. I don't think I have disliked a single book from her, and Happy Place was one of my top books of 2023. So what is Funny Story about? It's actually a very funny story, it sounds like, about a woman named Daphne, whose fiance all of a sudden leaves her for another woman. And not only is he leaving for another woman, he is leaving for his childhood best friend. And so he basically leaves Daphne kind of stranded, kind of homeless, not knowing what her next steps in life are going to be. And so her first step is to try and find somewhere new to live because she needs a roof over her head. She then comes to find herself in this predicament where she is proposing to be roommates with the ex of the girl that her fiance left her for. Did you see that connection? Are you following? This just sounds like a funny story. It sounds like a very quirky, fun time. As I said, I just love Emily Henry's writing, so I'm so excited for this one. I do have this one on pre-order. I'm ready. We're finally moving on to May, and so on May 7th, we get another romantic release, and that is This Summer Will Be Different by Carley Fortune. This is another contemporary romance, and I do just have a soft spot for Carley Fortune because she writes her stories based in Toronto and based in Canada, and as a little Canadian girly myself, that just gives me joy because I feel like books and movies set in Canada, they just don't happen very often, so when they do, little Jamie gets excited about it, okay? So I've read the other two books that Carley Fortune has released over the past couple years. I really liked Every Summer After by her. I didn't really love Meet Me at the Lake, but I still am very excited for another release because I think overall her writing is very good. She just has to let go of a couple tropes that she continues to include in her books, and so hopefully we don't get that trope here. This book is also set in Canada, and we follow Lucy, who is from Toronto. And for many summers in her life, she has traveled to this beach house, this vacation home in PEI with her best friend. But secretly over the years, while she's there, she's also been having a hidden, secret affair with her best friend's little brother. And this is just completely on the down low, and she's kind of been like, we're breaking this off, this is nothing serious, nothing else is gonna happen, okay? From now on, between me and my best friend's brother, nothing's gonna happen. Until one day, her best friend's about to get married, okay? Her best friend's wedding is next week, when all of a sudden her best friend decides to flee the city and run to Prince Edward Island. So we've got a runaway bride best friend. And what does Lucy do? She follows her best friend to Prince Edward Island, of course. She has to go, she has to be a good friend and help comfort and support her friend in any way she can. But that brings her again into close quarters with the young brother. And so her story unfolds from there. And this just sounds like another really fun summer romance to read. A really good one to read outside in a park, at the beach, at the pool. And so yeah, I'm really excited for this one in the upcoming summer months. And then the week after, on May 14th, we are going to get the release of When Among Crows by Veronica Roth. This one, kind of random for me. But I'm excited for this one because Veronica Roth is the author of the Divergent series. And since Divergent, I have not read a single thing from this author. And I know she's released other books, but they just haven't come up to the forefront of my attention. But for some reason, this one came up. This one is an adult dystopian fantasy. So Veronica Roth is still in her dystopian era, which, okay, we love. But I think this is the first adult book that she has written. So that's very exciting. From the synopsis, it doesn't really give us much, to be honest, but it seems like we have a character named Demeter, kind of like Dimitri, but Demeter, Demeter, who is some sort of a cursed monster slayer. We also have a female character named Alla, who is struggling under a family curse. So these two characters, Alla and Demeter, come together and they make a bargain to work together because they each have something the other one needs. Maybe this unlikely duo comes together and they go off on their journey. That's all I know. But this sounds like a really fun book. It's also a very short book. Looks like this book length is 176 pages. So it's a little cute novella. Sounds like it'll be a fun read that you could just like read in one sitting or read in a day or two. I don't know. This just came to my attention and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna read Veronica Roth again this year. Fast forward to June 25th, we get the release of Tangled Up in You by Christina Lauren. I'm so excited for this one. First of all, I love Christina Lauren. I think this duo of authors is just so great. And this one sounds really exciting to me because this book is a kind of a standalone book, but it's part of a series or a collection. And this collection has been written by different authors. So every book in this collection is written by a different author. They're not all by Christina Lauren. And I haven't read any of the other ones, but the concept sounds very fun. So basically all of the books in this collection are modern day retellings of fairy tales. So I did a quick search on Goodreads and it seems like the books so far in this collection have been based on Cinderella, Beauty and the Beast, and The Little Mermaid. And this upcoming book from Christina Lauren, of course, is, you know, from the title, kind of obvious, it's about Tangled, or Rapunzel. So in this modern retelling, we have a character named Wren, who has been raised in like a homestead, off-grid environment, where she's never had a phone. She's never connected to anyone else. It's just been her and her caregiver in this off-grid homestead, disconnected environment, until one day, she gets into college. There she meets a character named Fitz and she has to do like a group project with him. And so she's kind of forced into this close proximity with a character and, you know, she's never really met that many people in her life. And this just sounds like so much fun. We all love Rapunzel. We all love Tangled. We all love Christina Lauren. So there's nothing to lose here. Moving into July, in July 4th, we have the release of Reckless by Lauren Roberts. This is the second book in the Powerless trilogy, a YA fantasy romance. And I'm gonna be honest, I didn't completely fall head over heels in love with Powerless. I did enjoy it. I think it was a really fun, exciting read, but I wasn't like, oh, you know what I mean? I thought the story had been done before. It wasn't very unique, but I did love the banter. I love the chemistry between our two main characters and the way Powerless leaves us off. It's one of those books that just leaves you off in this type of cliffhanger that even if you weren't absolutely in love with the first book, you just feel like you still need to go on in the journey just to find out what happens. And so I'm gonna read Reckless and I'm even excited about it. I'm just hoping that this book veers off from its Hunger Games Red Queen vibe and becomes its own thing. So I'm really excited for this one. I do have this on pre-order as well. And yeah, that's Reckless. I have 3 more books I want to talk about, but all 3 of these are kind of like may not be in 2024, but might be in 2024. The first one is an unknown release, Untitled by Stephanie Garber. Actually, like on the day I'm filming this, what day is it? It is January 6th. On the day I'm filming this. Stephanie Garber is going to release the title of her upcoming book in like 1 day or 2 days. Like in the next 2 days, she's gonna announce it. But all I know as of right now is that it's a new spectacular book coming in 2024. I am guessing this is maybe another YA fantasy romance because that's just what she's written. I am hoping that this is another spin-off series set in the same world as her Caraval or Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogies. I just need more stories in the Magnificent North. I need to return to this world because I love it. And from the way she ended the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy, I just have a feeling that there are so many untold stories still to be told in that world and I need more. So I'm really excited about this announcement. By the time this video comes out, the announcement will probably already be up. So if it is already up, I will leave more of the details in the pinned comment on this video. I'm so dang excited. I do also, of course, have to just bring up Rebecca Yarros. There is still potential that the third book in the Empyrean / the Fourth Wing series will be releasing in 2024. It hasn't been officially announced yet, but there's been some speculation, and I actually got a screenshot one day off of Goodreads where someone, I don't know who populates Goodreads, I don't know if it's publishers or if it's authors, but someone put like the listing of the third Empyrean book on Goodreads and set the release date as December 2024. That has since been removed and then put back on without a release date. So I don't know, there's just a lot of mystery here. But last week, Rebecca did post something on Instagram mentioning that she had officially started writing the third book. So we may still have hope. I'm guessing if this book does release in 2024, it'll be either a November or December release. It'll definitely be closer to the end of the year, especially because of the criticisms on Iron Flame when it came out with all the printing issues. There was kind of an obvious lack of editing. I still enjoyed Iron Flame thoroughly. There was just some criticism on the fact that the book was very much rushed out. And so I do think that Rebecca and her publishers will take the time with the third book. We could have a November or December release, but no promises. Might also be a 2025 thing. And then the last book I just want to give a little mention to will be actually a 2025 release, but I wanted to sneak it in here because I'm really excited about it, is the next release by R.F. Kuang, and her book is going to be called Katabasis, I believe. There's no official release date yet, but she did post on Instagram that this book will be releasing 2025. She did actually finish writing it on December 31st, 2023, but it does seem like she's going to take the time for the editing, for the whole publication process, because she has some things coming up in her personal life in 2024. I think she's getting married, which is so fun and exciting. And then we'll have a 2025 release where she can really focus on press, touring, whatever, you know, whatever authors do. So at this point, I would read anything by R.F. Kuang. I think she's just such a genius. She is so smart with the way she writes, but also is so good at evoking emotion and also bringing up very important topics that we need to be thinking about. There are no confirmed plot synopsis details on this book yet, obviously, but the term Katabasis, and I did have to Google this, is a term associated with Greek mythology, usually indicating a descent into the underworld and then an ascent back from the underworld. So like, that sounds fun, and I'm so in. Whatever she does, I'm excited. Gonna have to wait another year for that book, but it's gonna be good. Those are all the books I wanted to talk about in this video. We are going to read so many good books this year. I can feel it already. And yeah, if you did like this video, please leave me a like and a comment. If you don't know what to comment down below, let me know what books you're excited about in 2024. Whether they're on this list or whether they're on your own list, just let me know. If you like me, subscribe, do that bell thing, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!